Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't posted a photography video in a really long time, and I actually realized that I started recording yesterday and forgot to record an intro for you guys. So I am going to record the intro now. I am really excited to show you guys some behind the scenes on not only the shoot, but I'm also going to be doing stop motion for them as well. So yesterday I actually went ahead and recorded some behind the scenes of the shoot for you guys, so I will go ahead and put that in there first thing. But today I'm going to be recording the behind the scenes of the stop motion for them, which I'm really excited to do. I haven't done stop motion in a few months for a client, so I'm very excited to jump back into that. Stop motion is a very tedious process, but it is very rewarding, and I'm really kind of excited to show you guys the behind the scenes of how that's actually done. I am going to have to ask you guys to excuse the mess and the odd emptiness. I am actually in the process of moving, so my room for the most part is completely empty except for all of my props and product that I'm working with today. So it's gonna look a bit weird. I do have super scuffed lighting going on, so just go ahead and ignore that, but I will go ahead and jump into the video. I'm probably going to include the first portion of the video that I recorded yesterday that I forgot to record an intro for you guys. So what I'm going to include next is going to be the product photography behind the scenes for you guys, basically just showing you guys a couple of setups that I did, and then I will go ahead and include some editing in there as well for you guys. Then after that, I will go ahead and include what I'm going to be doing today, which like I said is going to be the stop motion. So let's get started. Hello, so I am in the middle of shooting and I figured I would show you guys how I actually get close-ups of smaller products without actually getting the reflection from my studio lights and everything like that. So let me show you how I do that. Okay, so it is very common to get reflections on products from studio lights that look like this. Normally when you have a larger product, if I was working with a product, say this size, if it was a cleanser or anything like that, you would have essentially the poster boards and utilize those as reflectors to minimize the reflections that are coming up on your products. Well, I am working with a very small product right now. It is a lip liner from a cosmetic brand, and so in order to eliminate the reflections on a smaller product, I actually use my white foam props to have the light bounce off of these white foam props to illuminate the products and eliminate that reflection. So I will show you guys what it would look like if I didn't have these white foam props bouncing my light off, and then I will show you what it looks like with the foam props I'm using as my reflectors on this product. So this is straight out of my camera, and as you can see, there is quite an aggressive reflection that is showing on the products, and this is before I went and put in my white foam props as reflectors. So let me show you what it looks like after. So this is what it looks like after I used my white foam props as reflectors. As you can see, you can definitely see the products way better. You can actually read the name on the product and everything like that. So it just ultimately looks a lot better when you're not battling the studio flash reflections on top of your products, and it gives you a much cleaner image. And these are just out of my camera, completely raw, so I will show you guys what it looks like actually edited as well. I just spent over 15 minutes trying to get a product to stay in the position that I wanted it to. And I feel like it's not talked about enough how much patience product photography requires. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like because it literally looks so simple, but I could not get this product to stay for the life of me. This was all I wanted. This was it. 15.5 minutes. Okay, so I have moved from my normal studio, which is my bed, to my floor. So I have an actually really interesting setup to show you guys. It is a mirror setup, and this was the only kind of black background that I had left in my house since I moved all of my other backdrops over to my new house. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys, like, you do not need any sort of professional studio to be doing product photography. You are going to laugh hysterically when you see the set that I'm about to show you guys, but the final photo is gonna be so amazing. Okay, so I'm literally on my floor with my camera, my studio light, and my product. And I have my product stacked on 2 foam blocks, 3 books, and a mirror. And this is actually my desk with a black chalkboard background, and you can kind of see when you get closer, this looks extremely professional, really clean, and a really cool setup. So as you get closer, which is what you're gonna see in camera, this looks amazing. And when you zoom out, I'm literally on my floor stacked on books. Like, you just don't need a professional studio to achieve looks like this for clients. Okay, so for the first stop motion, I'm going to be doing a lipstick sequence, and the most important thing with stop motion is consistency. So the last thing that you want is your camera moving or anything like that. So I'm actually going to pull out my tripod and my little clicker so that way I don't have to press any buttons on the camera or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to do now. A tripod is absolutely essential when you're doing stop motion because you don't want any inconsistencies within the photos. Okay, so I've got my tripod all set up. The next thing I'm going to do is plug in my clicker. These are literally like $5 or $10 on Amazon or something, and it's a lifesaver if you're doing stop motion because it allows you to just click on this instead of touching your camera, which eliminates inconsistencies. So this is what I'm going to be using for the entirety of the stop motion shoots, and I'm gonna go plug it in. So I just did some test shots. The quality of this video is going to go extremely downhill because I don't like having any excess light in the background when I'm shooting. For one, it causes color casts, and for two, it causes unnecessary shadows. So I turned off the lights that I had on in my room except for these, which really don't do anything. And I set up my studio lights so that way we can get started. I'll probably just time-lapse the shoot, and then if I have any comments, I'll just pop in and do a quick video for you guys. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I've got everything set up, so here we go. Okay, so here are the raw results straight out of my camera based on what we just did. Oh, you can't even see it. There we go. So if we go backwards, it's the beauty of stop motion. You can do whatever you want. Super cool. So I've got the lipstick stop motion all done. The next two that I'm going to be doing aren't so much stop motions, they're really just kind of images flashing back and forth to give the photos some motion, and especially when you post it on like your Instagram feed, it's more appealing than just a flat picture. It's kind of alternating back and forth. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. The one that I'm about to set up is just going to be 2 pictures back and forth between 6 products on each, and it's going to be using some mirror play, so I will go ahead and show you guys the setup for that. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be alternating these 6 products between these 6 products on some mirror play. So so I'm in the process of moving, so my bigger mirrors are not at this house with me anymore, so I'm probably gonna have to do some Photoshop editing to go ahead and fix this up after, but I'm gonna make it work. Okay, so for my last stop motion, this one's also just kind of multiple images gonna be strung together in editing, but for my last one I'm actually going to be a hand model. So I am actually going to flip all of my equipment this way so that way I can just shoot against plain white, which is just gonna be my closet door, but I've used it many times in the past and nobody ever knows. I just exposed my secret, but it's fine. Photographing yourself as a hand model is probably one of the hardest things that you can do because you can't see yourself while you're photographing, and it makes it extremely difficult to know if there's any reflection on your product or anything like that. So So once we are done with the photo shoot portion, we are going to go into editing, which entails opening up all the Photoshop photos in Lightroom and Photoshop. And I've already done the base edits, so what I'm going to do now is select all the images, right click them and hit open as layers in Photoshop. And this is going to give us the base, so that way we can begin to create the stop motion. So it normally takes a little bit for your computer to load all of these images in as layers, but once it does that, we can begin creating what we are going to call a frame animation, and I will show you how to get there. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to Window and click Timeline. I normally make this the bottom of my screen, and then you're going to click on Create Frame Animation, and that is going to bring in the first image, and you're going to click the three bars on the right and click Make Frames from Layers. That is going to take all of your layers and put them in as frames in Photoshop. Then you can go ahead and select the time frame duration that you would like for these images, and then you make sure that it is on forever at the bottom left, and then hit play. And that is how you create your stop motion in Photoshop. Super easy, super simple, very quick process. I did go in and touch up a couple things on the labels, as they weren't straight after I did do the stop motion, so you can see me doing that here. I'm going to pretty much copy and paste the labels that are straight onto another one to give it that clean, overall fresh look. And once I am done with that, then we are going to have the final animation that looks like this. Now for the other stop motion, I did need to go in and expand the mirror, which you can see me doing here, but other than that, the steps are pretty much the exact same thing. After I fix the mirroring, I'm going to open them as layers in Photoshop, do the create the frame animation, and then select the time frame, and this is what you're going to get. I also followed those same steps for the hand modeling animation, and this is the final result for that as well.